back. Welcome to another episode of Hoop Rants. So today, I want to talk about college basketball. So, you know what time it is. Yep, it's March, and that means complete madness. Complete madness. Now, I have not filled out a bracket yet. I will, but I'm gonna give you guys some of my quick picks of who I think might win in the first early rounds. So let's start off in the East region. We have UConn versus Stetson, so that's 1-6. I've got UConn winning that one pretty easily. So in the next bracket, we have 8 versus 9, which would be Florida Atlantic and Northwestern. I'm gonna go with the upset and say Northwestern's gonna win the game. Next, after that, we got San Diego State and UAB. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go with another upset and say UAB is going to pull that game out. Next, you have Auburn versus Yale. I'm gonna go Auburn. I'm gonna go Auburn. Gut saying Auburn. After that, you have BYU, and cannot pronounce this school's name for the life of me. It's the I cannot pronounce it. The Somebody's gonna it's gonna rip me a new one in the comments, but you get what I'm saying. It's 6 versus 11, so I'm gonna go with BYU on that one. I got After that you have Illinois versus Morehead State. I think Illinois could pull that out. Um, then after that we're gonna say Washington State versus Drake. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go upset and say Drake is gonna win. So after that we have Iowa State versus South Dakota State. I'm gonna go Iowa State. I'm gonna go Iowa State on that one. All right, so next we have the South region. So in the South region, it starts off with Houston versus Longwood. Houston struggled a little bit in the Big 12 tournament, but I don't see them losing to Longwood. No, I'm gonna pick Houston. Next is Nebraska versus Texas A&M. That's a head scratcher. That's a head scratcher. It just depends. There's a kid in Nebraska, number 30. He has been balling out of control. Uh, but I'm gonna go with the upset and say Texas A&M is gonna win. Next, we have Wisconsin versus James Madison, a 5-12 matchup. Ooh, another upset. I'm gonna go James Madison. Next, we have Duke versus Vermont. I'm going Duke. I'm not even gonna waste you guys' time. um, After that, it's Texas versus NC State. Texas Tech, actually. I'm sorry, versus NC State. I'm gonna go NC State as an upset. Um, we got Kentucky versus Oakland. I got Kentucky winning by a long shot. After that, it's Florida versus the winner between Boise State and Colorado. Um, I'm gonna pick Florida. It honestly doesn't matter which team faces Florida. Florida's gonna win. Next we have Marquette versus Western Kentucky. Oh man. I'm gonna go Marquette. I'm gonna go Marquette on that one. So that completes the South region. Let's go over to the Midwest region. So we have Purdue versus Montana, the winner between Montana State and Grambling State. All right, Purdue has lost in the opening round before, so let's not get that misconstrued. But I don't see them losing. I think 𝐦𝐤𝐬 is going to dominate the paint, and they're gonna finish them off. I'll take Purdue. Um, Next, it's 8 versus 9. We're gonna go with Utah State and TCU. I don't know too much about Utah State, so I think I'm just gonna go with TCU. Next we have Gonzaga versus McNeese. Ooh, I'll give Gonzaga the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. After that, it's we have Kansas versus Samford. I'm gonna go Kansas. I'm not gonna bet against Kansas. All right, next we have South Carolina versus Oregon. Ooh, ah, that's a tough one. Gut saying South Carolina. I'm gonna go South Carolina. Mm, No, 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 no. I'll take it back. Oregon. I'm going upset alert. Oregon. Next we have Creighton versus Akron. I'm going Creighton. I don't have a reason to pick against Creighton. Next is Texas versus the winner of Virginia and Colorado State. I'm gonna go Texas. I'm going to Texas. After that, and the last matchup of this region is gonna be Tennessee versus St. Peter's. I'm going to Tennessee. I forget his name. I think it's Dalton. He has been on fire. I have no reason to believe Tennessee won't pull that out. All right, in the last region is the West region. We have the first matchup is going to be North Carolina versus the winner between Howard and Wagner. Doesn't matter. Carolina's gonna win. We have in the next matchup after that, the battles of the MSUs. That's Michigan State University, Mississippi State, and Michigan State. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys because, and this first time I've ever revealed this, I'm a huge Michigan State fan. So I got them with the upset over Mississippi State. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I'm showing my bias, but I'm going Michigan State. Michigan State always proves that they can get to the Final Four. May not always pull it out in the Final Four, but they can prove they can get to the Elite Eight or even the Sweet 16 and Final Four. So I'm gonna go with the more experienced team. Next, we have St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Wow, I don't know too much about either one of these teams. So I'm just gonna go with the higher seed. I'm gonna say St. Mary's. I might eat my words later, but it is what it is. After that, you have Alabama versus Charleston. I'm gonna go with Alabama. No reason to believe they can't pull that game out. Next is Clemson versus New Mexico. Now this is the matchup for me. This is the matchup right here. I'm gonna go with New Mexico for the upset, and so many factors. Jalen House, I'm surprised he was not on one of the Bob Cousy Award list, but he has been playing out of his mind. Also, you have to think about Jamal Mashburn Jr. is on that team. I'm going New Mexico. I just have no reason to believe that they won't pull that game out. Next is Baylor versus Colgate. I'm going Baylor. After that, it's Dayton versus Nevada. Ooh, toss up. Um, I'm gonna go with Dayton. I'm gonna go Dayton with that one. Yep, Dayton. And then last but not least, in this region is gonna be Arizona versus Long Beach State. Please do not sleep on Long Beach State. It might be a mid-major school, but don't sleep on them. I still have Arizona winning, but I think Long Beach State is gonna bring it to them. So that concludes who I would pick in my brackets. Now let's go over to some other news. Um, they just released the the All American first, second, and third team. So I wanna highlight real quick some of the interesting names that's on it. So we got with the first team All American, we got Zach Edey, we got Dalton. I cannot pronounce his last name. He's from Tennessee. Don't want to mess it up, so I'm just gonna say Dalton. You also have Jamal Sheed from University of Houston. And you also have R.J. Davis and then Tristan Newman. That rounds out the first team All American. The one that stands out to me the most is probably R.J. Davis. He's been playing really well for North Carolina. So I like that one. We have the second team AP All American. A few names on here that's going to stand out to me is Tyler Kolek. You got Mark Sears, Deron Holmes II, Kyle Flippinpowski, and Hunter Dickinson. Number one name that sticks out to me immediately is Hunter Dickinson. And then maybe Tyler Kolek. I like both of those players. So that stands out to me. That was actually interesting. And the reason why I'm picking Dayton to win in the NCAA tournament's first game is going to be is because of Deron Holmes. He's been playing out of his mind this year. Um, and then the last third team All American is going to be Johnny Broome, Jadon Ledee, Baylor. His name is Baylor Shish. Oh God, I'm terrible with names. Shishkiman. I'm gonna get killed in the comments. I am terrible with pronouncing last names, so please help me in the comments. And then we also have it from Illinois, uh, Terrence Shannon Jr. And then last but not least, Caleb Love. Caleb Love, honestly, should have been at least second team. Arizona has been kicking butt, and it's been because of him. And I am super surprised. Why isn't Terrence Shannon at least first team? I'm a little, I don't know, I feel some type of way about that. I don't know why he isn't that. That's it's a little crazy, don't you think? Um, yeah. So I wanted to relay some of that. Would you going to help me get that out and talk about a little bit of college hoops? This year, I mean, you don't have as many big names as you would in previous years, but um, it's still gonna be interesting. You're gonna see some game winners, some. You're gonna see a Cinderella story. March Madness is probably one of my favorites of all time. It's gonna be my favorite of all time. I might make the video just a tad bit longer because I do want to talk about the women's side of it too. talk about, some quick games. I'm not gonna talk about the entire regions because I don't think I have enough time in this video to do that. But I do want to talk about a few quick matchups that I think is going to be extreme. That the women's NCAA is going to I probably think is going to be probably even more exciting than the men's. But the matchups that I'm going to pay attention to the closest is going to be South Carolina versus whoever wins between Sacred Heart and Presbyterian. I already know Gamecock's going to win that. They have been on fire. And then I can't wait to see Southern California USC versus A&M Corpus Christi. That's gonna be a great game. Also, UConn versus Jackson State. That should be an interesting game as well too from the women's side. And then also Iowa versus the winner between Holy Cross and UT Martin. That's gonna be a good game too. That's gonna get that's gonna be a good game as well too. Also, oh, I've been not been paying attention to women's basketball as much as I should, but Texas versus Drexel should be a very good game as well too. Tennessee and Green Bay should be a good game as well too. My final four for women's is gonna be um, ooh, well, I'm gonna put a pin in that because I don't think I have my guess yet. But also want to put out that LSU versus Rice should be a really good matchup as well too from the women's side. So teams that I'm keeping my eye on is Iowa, LSU, um, USC, UConn for sure, and then South Carolina as well. I'm keeping an eye on those teams. I really like those teams. Any one of those for me is going to probably end up gonna win the championship for the women's side. So yeah, I'm excited, man. March Madness is here. I'm ready to set my brackets. I am ready to just bunker down and watch day full of games and just continuously on and on and on and on and on and on. Watch nothing but basketball. This is going to be an amazing, amazing couple of weeks of basketball. So if you aren't, this is the best time actually to really be a basketball fan. This is one of the best times. NBA could the playoffs with the NBA can be boring at times. Um, because I'm more of a I love. Let me not take that. Let me take that back. I do appreciate and do love the NBA playoffs because a lot of people make their names in the NBA, during the playoffs. But there's something about a do or die, a one shot, that's it, that's all you got, is just so intriguing to me. And I live for moments like these. I'm gonna sit back, grab some popcorn. I'm gonna be watching a ton of games. So, yo, comment down below. Tell me who are some of your favorites. Tell me some of your top picks. If not, just enjoy it. That's all I can say. Is just enjoy it. If your brackets gets busted, it's it's perfectly fine. I'm probably going to I'm gonna get my bracket out as soon as I can, but um, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Stay tuned for another episode of Hoop Rants, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. I do actually read the comments. I do read the comments, so comment down below. Until next time, take care.